Hello and a very warm welcome to Science Monitor, your weekly update on what's happening in the field of science, technology, research and innovation in and around the country. I'm Ashwarya with you. From nano-coated filter medium developed by IIT Madras to filter out submicron particles to state-of-the-art temporary COVID-19 hospital built by DRDO in just 12 days. We have plenty in store for you. So let us begin with the headlines. Scientists urge WHO to address the airborne transmission of COVID-19. WHO might review its recommendations on the basis of emerging and conclusive evidence. Researchers develop nano-coated filter medium to filter out submicron particles. The innovation can have applications in various sectors, including health and defense. COVID-19 hospital ready in just 12 days. State-of-the-art temporary hospital has many indigenous products developed by DRDO. And we will show you how rainwater harvesting can solve the problem of water scarcity and the depleting groundwater level. The pandemic of COVID-19 is becoming a complex puzzle. In the past few months, many new facts have emerged regarding the disease, and the World Health Organization has been busy updating the facts regarding the disease. Now, a group of scientists has asked the WHO to revise its guidelines regarding the transmission of the disease. The scientists claim that there is enough evidence to prove airborne transmission of the disease in the closed environments. Let us see the report to know more about this development.
According to WHO, COVID-19 spreads primarily through small droplets expelled from a patient's nose or mouth while coughing or sneezing. And these droplets do not travel far in the air as they are relatively heavy. So, they either sink to the ground or land on nearby surfaces. Therefore, discharged droplets and infected surfaces are the main culprits behind the spread of this infection. But according to 239 scientists belonging to 32 countries, COVID-19 has a high potential of being airborne. And therefore, WHO should also address this mode of disease transmission. The scientists, in their open letter to all the relevant national and international bodies, have highlighted findings of many studies that support the potential of airborne transmission of COVID-19. In response, the WHO has stated that it is open to all kinds of evidence and will come up with a review based on the conclusive evidence.
The body of evidence continues to grow, and we adapt. And so we do what's called a living systematic review. Every week we update the review based on the latest, and there are hundreds of publications now in the area of transmission. And then we have what's called a guideline development group that considers all of this evidence, and many of the scientists who are authors of that, some of the scientists who are authors on that letter are part of our expert groups and guideline development groups. And they then look at the evidence, and then they have to make a considered recommendation. And we take this very seriously. We are, of course, focused on public health guidance. And so any guidance that we put out has implications, of course, for billions of people around the world. So it has to be carefully considered.
The group of 239 multidisciplinary scientists claim that various research studies have indicated beyond reasonable doubt that the disease can also spread through air, particularly in indoor or enclosed environments that have poor ventilation. It was found in studies that many microdroplets as large as 5 microns were able to travel as far as 10 meters in closed rooms. In addition to it, aerosols or particles less than 5 microns can also be the main culprits, as they can float in the air for a longer period of time and can also be carried away farther through increased airflow. The scientists have also highlighted that several super-spreading events can also be attributed to airborne transmission of the disease. The plea of the scientists has been published in the journal Clinical Infectious Diseases.
If the facts regarding the airborne and aerosol transmission of SARS-CoV-2 are proved conclusively, then guidelines ranging from social distancing to wearing masks may get changed. Under such a situation, high-end safety equipment will become very necessary to protect the people from airborne particles. And to cater to this need, the latest innovation of IIT Madras will come very handy, as it is designed to filter out sub-micron particles present in the air. So let us see the report to know more about this innovation, which has been designed specifically for corona warriors.
Essential service providers have the highest risk of catching the pandemic. Health workers, sanitation workers, police personnel, and other corona warriors cannot perform their duties from the comfort of their home and have to work in high-risk zones. This is especially true for healthcare workers who come directly in contact with COVID-19 patients. Data shows that many healthcare workers have caught the infection despite using PPEs and masks. Although it can be attributed to increased viral loads in the hospital settings, yet it clearly calls for effective innovation to filter out the virus completely. Now, researchers at the Indian Institute of Technology, Madras, have developed just such an innovative filter with the help of nanotechnology.
We aim to develop a nano-coated filter media which will be used in face masks to enhance particle filtration efficiency with suitability for filtering aerosol and airborne contaminants to reduce the impact of COVID-19. Nanofibrous materials of polymer like nylon 6 and nylon 6,6 and composites like graphene oxide, carbon nanotubes is coated on conventional filter material through electrospinning process to enhance the filtration efficiency.
This nano-coated filter medium is developed on cellulose paper through a nylon-based coating and electrospinning process. It can filter dust particles or microbes present in the air up to a size of a micron, which is an achievement in itself. The medium can be used in face masks to effectively filter the microbes in high-risk zones. In addition to this, it can also be used in respiratory devices, air purification systems of operation theatres, etc.
The nano coating fabricated through this electrospinning process have fiber diameter less than 1 micron and can be positioned according to the need to enhance either surface or depth filtration for healthcare workers or public responders. This novel filter with multiple nano coating have capabilities to filter particles of the order of 1 micron size, which is a remarkable achievement which was performed at IIT Madras.
Apart from avoiding COVID-19 infection, such media can also find applications in cabin air filters of aircrafts, air filters of the armored vehicle engines, etc. This pioneering work is funded by Defence Research Development Organisation and has been a collaborative effort among faculty of different departments at IIT Madras, including Professor Raghuram Chetty from Department of Chemical Engineering and Professor Sarvana Kumar from Department of Engineering Design. The nano-coated filter medium is undergoing field testing to ascertain its practical applications.
On the one hand, Indian companies are coming up with different medical solutions to tackle the COVID-19 infection, and on the other hand, there are institutes like IIT Kanpur that are working to solve the problems arising due to COVID-19. Recognizing the problems of the rural areas and their limited access to high-end technology, the institute has now developed a mobile-based teaching setup for the teachers working in rural areas. Using this setup, teachers can record their own lectures using their regular smartphones within the vicinity of their homes. Let us see the report to know more.
The pandemic of COVID-19 has greatly impacted the education system of the country. It has forced almost all the institutes to cancel or postpone their exams and brought the classroom teaching to a standstill. However, to save the academic year, schools in the urban areas have shifted to online classes using modern apps and personal computers. But replicating the same in rural areas is quite difficult, as majority of the teachers in the rural areas do not have access to such facilities.
तो स्कूल में हमारे पास बहुत सारे टीचिंग एड्स होते हैं, वाइट बोर्ड, स्मार्ट बोर्ड्स, बट घर पे ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, जिसके कारण टीचर्स को ये काफ़ी प्रॉब्लमेटिक लग रहा है। सेकेंडली, अगर हमें कोई प्रेजेंटेशन बनानी होती है या फिर कोई पावर पॉइंट पे कुछ और काम करना होता है, तो सबके पास लैपटॉप्स नहीं होते हैं, जो कि काफ़ी प्रॉब्लमेटिक है टीचर्स के लिए।
To overcome this problem, IIT Kanpur has devised a solution. The setup based on smartphones can play a significant role in restarting the classes in rural areas, as most of the people have access to smartphones and are familiar with their usage. Using this setup, teachers can record their lectures on their own and share it with their students.
स्कूल एजुकेशन को बच्चों तक पहुंचाने के लिए, बच्चों का समय नष्ट ना हो, आईआईटी कानपुर इमेजिनिंग लैबोरेटरी ने एक उपकरण डेवलप किया है जिसको हमने नाम दिया है मोबाइल मास्टर जी। मोबाइल मास्टर जी एक पेपर से रिकॉर्डिंग करके बच्चों के मोबाइल तक कोई भी लेक्चर, कोई भी रिकॉर्डिंग पहुंचा सकता है। सबसे बड़ा इसका फायदा ये है कि जो एग्जिस्टिंग मोबाइल है, अवेलेबल मोबाइल है टीचर्स के पास, वहीं से ही रिकॉर्डिंग करके टीचर्स घर से बच्चों तक पहुंचा सकते हैं। हम बुक से भी सीधा अंडरलाइन करके, मार्क करके, फोटोग्राफ्स कुछ भी है बच्चों को दिखाया जा सकता है। इसके साथ साथ जो ब्लैक बोर्ड रिकॉर्डिंग है, ये हॉरिजॉन्टल और वर्टिकल पोजीशन दोनों में काम करता है। ब्लैक बोर्ड रिकॉर्डिंग के लिए इसको वर्टिकल पोजीशन में सेट करके टीचर एक पॉइंटर लेके या एक ब्लैक बोर्ड पे जैसे भी टीचिंग करते हैं वो भी बच्चों तक पहुंचाया जा सकता है। हमें उम्मीद है कि ये पोर्टेबल, बहुत ही लाइट वेट, कॉम्पैक्ट डिवाइस जो बहुत ही अच्छे सस्ते प्राइस में हमने डेवलप करने की कोशिश की है, ये हमारे देश के बच्चों को कोई पढ़ाई का नुकसान नहीं होने देगा।
The Mobile Master G setup has been developed by the team of Professor Janak Rajan Ramkumar, Dr. Amandeep Singh and researchers Anil Jha, Virendra Singh and Jitendra Sharma. This easy-to-use system can be made available to schools and teachers at a very low cost, and teachers can use this setup to teach the students without the need of any conferencing apps.
And now it is time for a short break. Stay tuned, we'll be right back with more reports.
I'm worried about bullying, discrimination, and stigmatization. What is the best way to talk about COVID-19? Here's what you can do. Do not attach location or ethnicity to the disease. Remember, viruses can't target people from specific populations, ethnicities, or racial backgrounds. Do not refer to people with the disease as COVID-19 cases or victims. Refer to them as people. Do not talk about people transmitting COVID-19, infecting others, or spreading the virus, as it implies intentional transmission and assigns blame. Do not repeat or share unconfirmed rumors, and avoid using hyperbolic language designed to generate fear like plague or apocalypse.
Welcome back. After the break, you're watching Science Monitor. Defense Research and Development Organization, or the DRDO, has prepared the country's first COVID-19 hospital within 12 days. The temporary hospital is equipped with many state-of-the-art facilities that have been developed indigenously to tackle the infection. The hospital has a capacity of about 1,000 beds and 250 intensive care units. Dedicated to Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, the hospital is being considered another step towards self-reliant India. Here is a report.
Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel Hospital has added another dimension to the fight against COVID-19 in India. Defense Research and Development Organization has managed to build this dedicated COVID-19 hospital from scratch within a period of 12 days. Union Home Minister Amit Shah, Defense Minister Rajnath Singh and Health and Family Welfare Minister Dr. Harshvardhan visited the hospital recently and reviewed its facilities. The hospital, set up in the cantonment area of Delhi, is equipped with state-of-the-art facilities to tackle COVID-19 and has 1,000 beds and 250 ICU units. Around 400 medical staff from the armed forces has been deployed here to perform round-the-clock duties.
आर्म फोर्सेस मेडिकल सर्विसेज वाले 400 आदमी इधर पूरा मेडिकल सर्विसेज 24 आवर्स दे देंगे. पूरा आगे और कंप्यूटर का नेटवर्क बनाया है और कंप्लीट नेटवर्क में इंफॉर्मेशन चलेगा और ये पूरा सर्विसेज 24/7 विदाउट एनी प्रॉब्लम दे देगा. ये मैं मेरा टीम को अभिनंदन देना चाहता हूँ. 12 दिन में 1000 बेडेड हॉस्पिटल, ये कोविड सेंटर नहीं है, ये कोविड हॉस्पिटल है.
All the facilities provided in the hospital have been developed indigenously, and the hospital has at least 70 products developed by DRDO. These include sanitizers, masks, PPE kits, as well as vehicle sanitizing tunnels. A sanitizing tunnel has also been installed at the entrance of the hospital to sanitize the visitors and the belongings carried by them. Special doormats developed by DRDO are also being used to sanitize the shoes of all the people. Novel sanitizing systems based on UVC light have been installed at many places to disinfect PPE kits and masks of healthcare workers so that they can be used again and again. The hand sanitizing systems used by the hospital have also been developed by DRDO. In case of COVID-19, ventilator is the most crucial equipment to save the life of the critical patients, and the hospital has ventilators based entirely on indigenous technology. DRDO has developed these ventilators with the help of about 150 industry partners, including Bharat Electronics Limited.
पूरा जो इक्विपमेंट आप देख रहे हैं इधर DRDO का इक्विपमेंट लगाया है, ये पूरा इंडिजिनस इक्विपमेंट है. वेंटिलेटर्स या हो, हैंड्स फ्री सैनिटाइज़र हो, आप PPE का सैनिटाइज़र हो और मास्क का सैनिटाइज़र हो, कुछ भी देखिए. और ये वेंटिलेटर्स के अंदर में जो कंपोनेंट्स है वो भी इंडिजिनाइज किया 2 महीना के अंदर. ये वेंटिलेटर्स के साथ में 150 इंडस्ट्रीज काम किया है.
The temporary hospital has in-house facilities to diagnose COVID-19 and adheres to all the guidelines of the World Health Organization regarding the handling of the disease. Overall, this hospital is a step towards self-reliant India and showcases the immense potential of the indigenous technology and innovation overcoming a crisis like COVID-19.
And now let's have a look at some other developments that have made news in the field of science and technology in our segment Science Express.
After Bharat Biotech's Covaxin, another vaccine prototype called ZyCoV-D has received permission for human clinical trials in India from DGCI CDSCO. The vaccine has been manufactured at Ahmedabad-based Vaccine Technology Center of Zydus Cadila. The pharmaceutical company has developed a plasmid DNA vaccine candidate, which essentially involves genetically engineered plasmid of the virus. According to the company, this vaccine prototype initiated a strong immune response in animals like mice, rats, guinea pigs and rabbits, and the antibodies produced by this vaccine neutralized the wild-type virus completely. Human clinical trials of the first and second phase of this vaccine candidate are expected to start this month. It is very important to develop potential vaccines based on different technologies to ascertain their action on COVID-19. Taking advantage of the unique launch window which brings Earth and Mars closer to each other after a gap of every 2 years, 3 missions are poised to launch towards the Red Planet this month. The missions include NASA's car-sized Perseverance rover, which will hunt for signs of ancient life on Mars. NASA has planned to launch the mission on 30th July. Another one is United Arab Emirates' first ever interplanetary effort, Al-Amal, or the Hope Mars mission, which is scheduled to launch in the middle of this month. The Hope orbiter will reach Mars in early 2021 and then use 3 science instruments to study the red planet's atmosphere, weather, and climate from above. China's first ever homegrown Mars mission, known as Tianwen-1, is also scheduled to lift off atop a Long March 5 rocket around 23rd July. It will consist of an orbiter, a lander, and a rover of the size of a small golf car. While nations are sending their first ever and novel missions to Mars, the 7-year-old Indian mission to Mars, Mangalyaan, has once again amazed the world by capturing the image of Mars's innermost and biggest moon, Phobos. Indian Space Research Organization recently shared the picture on a social media platform. The image was taken on 1st of July with the Mars color camera when Mangalyaan was at a distance of 7,200 kilometers from Mars and 4,200 kilometers from Phobos. Generated from 6 MCC frames, the image is a composite one and reveals prominent craters on the satellite. It should be noted that Mangalyaan was launched on 5th of November in 2013 by PSLV C-25. And it entered the orbit of Mars in September 2014. The mission was developed to last just 6 months in the orbit, but the genius space technology of India has managed to prolong its life by years. World Zoonosis Day was observed on 6th July to commemorate the first vaccination against a zoonotic disease that was successfully administered by the famous French biologist Louis Pasteur on the same day in 1885. The day is also marked to raise awareness about the risk of zoonotic diseases like Ebola, avian influenza, and many others. The day becomes more relevant this year as the ongoing pandemic of COVID-19 also falls in this category. Zoonoses are infectious diseases caused by bacteria, viruses, and parasites that spread between animals and humans. About 150 zoonotic diseases are known to exist, and with infections like COVID-19, this number is only set to increase.
It's time for another short break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And very easily with the system of rainwater harvesting. Today we'll show you how harnessing the rainwater can solve the problems of water shortage and the depletion of groundwater level.
Monsoon rains are nature's way to quench the thirst of the earth. They are crucial for filling the water reservoirs and for recharging the groundwater. But by covering everything with concrete, in the name of urbanization, we have created obstacles in the nature's way of maintaining the groundwater level. Increased exploitation of groundwater resources and reduced rainwater percolation is leading to the depletion of water table and also to water scarcity. As we realize our mistakes, efforts are being made to harness the rainwater effectively in the form of rainwater harvesting. Traditionally, in the areas with low rainfall, this technique is adopted by making ponds and pits in the field. and in the urban areas, rainwater is collected in homes and offices for in-house needs and also to recharge the groundwater. Center for Science and Environment, an NGO based in New Delhi, has been working on rainwater harvesting for a long time. The institute has also designed several models of rainwater harvesting techniques in its own campus.
It's a catching rain and using it in different ways. It can be like just holding the water in some tank, like you have a Syntex tank at your home or a cement tank. So it can be just holding the water and reusing it for your non-potable purpose like flushing, irrigation, cleaning, mopping. And in some places, in dry areas, it is also used for drinking, but with a proper filtration. Or it can be recharging your groundwater.
CSE complex has a small pond to store water that flows from the terraces. Water overflow from here reaches the recharge well through pipes. Recharge well is filled with pebbles and sand to act like a filter. This well also has 10-meter deep pipes. When the well gets filled, the water reaches the ground directly through these pipes, which helps in maintaining the groundwater level. The complex also has many soak-away pits at different places. These soak-away pits help in rainwater percolation to recharge the groundwater.
Just simply make small pits, soak pits, like what we have, small circular soak pits you must have seen, those designed RCC slabs. So these are small pits through which you can just recharge your groundwater. So one way can be that you can make simple, economic, small soak pits, or you can make big recharge wells, diverting your roof water or your garden water or your parking lot or your paved surface, unpaved surface, anything. This pandemic has shown us that how important it is that actually to conserve water or harvest water.
CSE has also installed plants to reuse the wastewater coming out of its kitchen and washrooms. This water is also filtered using different methods, including some special plants, and then used for various needs. Different methods of rainwater harvesting can be employed in housing societies and office complexes to store rainwater at a very low cost. This can cater to many of our needs and also reduces our dependency on other water resources. Using different techniques and adopting eco-friendly construction plans, we all can contribute in maintaining the water table.
And that is all in today's edition of Science Monitor. You can send your feedback and suggestions through email. Our email ID is news@vigyanprasar.gov.in. You can also write into us at Vigyan Prasar, 5th floor, Prithvi Bhavan, Lodhi Road, New Delhi, 110003. We'll meet you next week in another edition of Science Monitor. Till then, stay tuned to Rajya Sabha TV and think scientifically. Bye for now.